Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. In today's installment of Black Powder for Beginners, I'm going to walk you through how to order your very own Shiloh Sharps rifle. You're going to follow along while I make an order for myself, and Lucinda's going to walk us through the catalog and through the website and show you how to pick out the right model of rifle for you, and then how to add the custom touches and features that you want. We're also going to talk about how to pay for it, what the schedule is going to be, and when you can expect delivery of your rifle. Okay, so I'm thinking about two different options here. One would be a 40-65 and the other might be a 45-100. And those are kind of at the opposite end of the scale. How do I pick? How do I know what I want?
The first thing you have to decide is truly what you're going to do with the rifle. If you've got one rifle that you're trying to do everything with, then that's how you're going to work to get your caliber. 40-65 is a great silhouette caliber, but in order to make that weight, your barrel has to be a half round, half octagon, and it can't go any longer than 30 inches. Those are things a lot of guys don't like to have that half look to the barrel. So that is something you have to think about. As far as barrel length and that, it's all going to come to you. I shoot long range with a 30 inch. Some guys like to have that 32, 34 because you're gaining sight radius.
With your iron sights. When she says sight radius, she's talking about the distance from the rear sight to the front sight. Right?
Right.
Okay. So all of my shooting up till now, basically, although I played with silhouette a little bit, I'm basically shooting all long range matches.
So then I would stay with your initial 45-100 caliber if that's what you are thinking.
Okay. And if I want a cheek rest and a double set trigger, then that kind of steers us toward the Sporter number 1. Is that correct?
If you want a cheek rest and a pistol grip, you're going to go with a Sporter number 1.
Okay.
They all will have double set triggers with the exceptions of the Creedmoors.
All right, so for you guys at home, if you go on the Shiloh website, in the top left corner, there's a tab that says Rifles. If you go down to 1874 Sharps rifle, it's going to pull up every option on here, all the different models. And if we scroll down to Sporter number 1, there's a green tab, select options. And so this is where we'll start going through. This is how you can make an order online. And what we just said was a 45-100, which is right there. If we pick that, and we say that I want a 30-inch barrel. Now, do these barrel lengths, I can pick any one of these, right?
And you can pick any barrel length you want. That does not change the price.
Okay. So I'm thinking about a 30-inch barrel because it'll fit in my safe. And now this tab right here, these are our barrel weights. Can you tell me about the different barrel weights? Like there's round, standard half, standard octagon, heavy half, and heavy octagon, and then there's these 25-pound barrel.
Yep, so standard half is going to be the lightest barrel that we make. Then it goes to a standard weight full octagon. Then we go to a heavy half.
And these barrels are getting bigger in diameter as we go, right?
And a heavy octagon.
Okay.
For what your caliber and what you're wanting to do, you want to stay into the heavy full octagon. Guys that do standard halves are generally the guys that are using their rifles for strictly to pack around and hunt.
Okay.
They're not competition shooting with them.
So for purposes of recoil reduction, I would be looking at heavy octagon or maybe a heavy half?
Yep, the only reason you go heavy half is if you're trying to make weight in some sort of sport category.
Okay. So for long range shooting though, there's not really, it's not like silhouette. So I could take that.
Yep.
Now the heavy octagon, how big around is it? How much is this rifle going to weigh?
Well, depending on your wood, and when you get done, you're going to probably be, in sights, depends on what you put on there, you'll be probably a little over 11 pounds.
Okay, all right. So let's take that one, heavy octagon. Now barrel features. There's an option to polish it. Have a matte finish, machine cut. Is this, polish and machine cut, that's on the top rib?
That's the top flat.
Okay.
So what it does is it's numerous, you call them squiggly lines that go down the top flat of the barrel. So it takes off those guys that run the masking tape down their barrel because of glare. That matte finish takes off the glare when you have a polished barrel.
Yeah, okay. I think I'd like that. Now our wood feature, I think I want to pick extra fancy wood, but can you explain the differences in these options?
Standard grade wood's going to be very straight grained wood.
Right.
And that's how all the rifles come. If you go to semi-fancy wood, the semi-fancy has a little bit of movement in the wood, but not a lot, and it doesn't have to be really even on both sides. It just has a little bit to it. Extra fancy is got a lot of movement and usually right up to the comb and on both sides. And then presentation is deep feather that goes through the whole buttstock up to through the wrist.
Okay. And you guys have some other wood options besides these for people that if they want like an English walnut or something like that?
Then we send people to a guy out of Las Vegas for English and Turkish walnut that will provide for you.
And if they want that, they have to call in and talk to you?
Yep.
Okay. So let's click that one. And if I decide to change this or one of these options in the future, I can call before my rifle goes into production.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You are
perfect.
not locked into anything on your rifle. You can make changes all the way through.
So there's 3 options here: no wood finish, AA finish, or AAA finish. Mm-hmm. And I think that I want the AAA, but can you explain a little bit of the difference in them?
Your AA finish is going to get that 80 to 85% fill in the pores of the wood on your rifle. You get into AAA, you're going to get up into that 90 to 95 percentile. So like anything from extra fancy and presentation, most guys tend to like to have that AAA because you're getting that beautiful wood.
And this is a hand rubbed
Low gloss tongue oil
finish. Perfect. Now our length of pull here. None means I'm going to get a standard length of pull.
And our standard length of pull is 14 to 14 and a quarter inches.
Okay. But if I want it shorter, like if I was a smaller shooter, or longer, if I was 6'8" or something, I could get that done too, right?
Yep. So like my rifle is 13 5/8, but it works better for me.
Okay, so I think that I would go with the standard length of pull. Now my butt plate, we have the traditional steel shotgun butt plate.
Yep.
Right? I want to get that. And now there's several finishes. Is this for our action or is it for the butt plate?
It's for the action in your butt plate, your lever. It's all your metal parts.
All right. So I've been looking at these different rifles and I think that I would like to get the pack hardened finish. I don't have French gray, so I can't get a background fill. Brass escutcheons. Now, if I want the black escutcheons with the polished screws, so I'm going to check none here.
You're going to check
right?
none.
Okay. Custom bedding. I want the bedding. Can you explain to the people at home what bedding is?
Well, that's that glass bedding that we put in your forearm to your barrel that helps keep moisture from getting in between if you happen to get caught in the rain or the mist. It has nothing to do with your accuracy, as that's another kind of misconcept out there.
Right, but it protects the wood.
It protects the forearm, it protects the getting underneath and getting rust on your barrel because it's helping hold it in there.
Okay. Sling swivels. I do not think I want those, so I'm going to leave that as none. Traditional checkering, and I do want checkering, so I need to check that. Now you guys have a traditional Sharps checkering pattern. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. Forearm tips. Now I've been looking at those, and you guys can find all of these options in the catalog, right? Because we're going to talk about a few of these things. Some of them are specific only to the 1877 model, and some of them work on the 1874s, and I should have shown you this before. But this is where in the catalog, if you get this sent to your house, it'll show you all these different features.
And there's a custom features page on the website also where they can go and see them.
Right, okay. So I really like the ebony schnabel tip. And that, right here. That is right here. And the schnabel, as we showed you before, it has the little lip on it in the front. I like it. That's a really nice finishing touch. So is the accent line, and that accent line that they're talking about is below your cheek rest right there, which again to my mind, that just sets that off, especially on a nice piece of wood.
Yep.
Hartford collar. I'm not familiar with a Hartford collar. Can you tell me about that?
Well, that is that machine cut right here where your barrel ties into the receiver. Right here, it's what they used on the Hartford models. So they had a Hartford collar and a pewter tip, and all it is a special machined circle in there where it ties into the receiver.
So if I don't have the Hartford collar,
Your
then
octagon will come right up to the receiver.
okay. I'll decide on that later. I don't have an opinion about it right
It'll
now.
be a good picture kind of to show. You can see a Hartford collar here.
Oh yeah,
here,
right there.
and then here's yours going to be more tuliped and flushed. To
You know,
the
maybe,
receiver.
yeah, there is. There's 3 pictures right here.
This is a Hartford collar on the Quigley.
Maybe I
And
do
then
like
this is
that
your
better.
regular.
I think I should order that. Now our cheek piece is going to be the standard, and the option is left-handed. I'm right-handed, so I'm picking standard. Polished screws. I want mine polished and blackened. The fire blued screws look really cool, but I'm kind of worried that they could rub off a little bit. And I think the black will look better with the wood, as you were talking about earlier.
With the pack hardened finish.
Right. The schnabel on the pistol grip, I do want that. And that's another little lip on the bottom of the pistol grip that looks really nice on a finished rifle.
No, there's right there.
It's right here. It's another one of those nice finishing touches on a gun. Again. So rear barrel sights. This is going to be a scoped rifle. So I'm going to click no rear dovetail. Now typically the rifles do come with a buckhorn. Am I going to, if I click no rear dovetail, does that delete the buckhorn or does it leave it on there?
No, so when you go no rear dovetail, we're not going to cut it. You're not going to receive a buckhorn at all. If
Okay.
you want it cut, you can cut a dovetail and then we can put a filler in its place. Just
Okay.
in case you ever wanted to ever use it, you can have it.
Okay.
But if you're truly just going to make a scope, put a scope on there and you don't want it, then just go no rear dovetail.
Okay.
It's nice and clean.
Tang sights, I'm going with a scope, so I'm going to pass that one up. Front sight. On this, how do I, if it's going to be a scoped rifle, do I need a front sight?
You
or
don't.
should I?
You don't have to have a front sight. So you could just put down in the comments and state, please don't cut the front dovetail. Now just remember, if it's somewhere down the point that you want to ever get rid of your gun, you won't have a front dovetail to where a guy could go and put a vernier tang and put a front sight on. So you have to
Right,
kind
it
of
would
think
be,
about those.
if I tried to do that, it would read scope only gun unless I brought it back and had dovetails
Exactly.
cut.
Yep.
Okay,
But if you want to do that, then just put it down and go ahead and click it. It'd be standard. But down in the comments, when you get ready to submit your order into me, then put in the comments, please do not cut front dovetail.
okay, all right. Now, drill and tap for a scope base. I'm assuming we're gonna drill and tap. And I'm assuming I'll have to let you know what the spacing, because there's several different scope
Yep.
base combinations ready, right?
Yep, and that's another thing that you'll put down in your comments box. If you know that you want a 7.2, if you know you want the 17-inch spacings, and you put it down there, and then that's how we will mark it on your order.
Okay, so that takes us basically to the end of the online order. And we're gonna add to cart. And right now, this is our total. And well, what did I just do? And I can come back and upgrade this if I want to, which I was thinking a lot about. Why does my cart keep going away? And when it's because I added 3. No, I don't want 3.
There you go.
Oh, I just got 4. Now I got 4 of them. I better hurry up and give you a card. So we have my order, and now for for the regular customer, they're going to have to at least give you some money down to start this, right? To
We do.
secure their place in line?
Yep, we require a $250 deposit to place your order.
Okay.
That deposit is non-refundable if you choose to cancel your order.
Uh-huh.
And then at that point, we will process your order, send you out confirmation. Some guys will put their credit card information in, or they'll just put a kind of a bogus number, and they will call us with a credit card and tell us what they want us to run it for.
Okay. That way they're not mailing a credit card information through the mail
and
or
it's a
something
secure,
like that.
it's a secure website, so they can put their credit card. Guys do it all the time for accessories and when they're buying. But there are still some, old timers, and I get it, that would prefer to call and give me their card number than to put it in there, so they just run 9s across there.
Okay. And if somebody wants to call you and walk through this on the phone, if they're not sure about some things, they can call and do all this over the phone, right?
Yep, we
Okay.
will call and visit with you. We'll walk you through. We'll take you back to the website if you're looking for custom features. I will sometimes tell you, I'm going to send you out a catalog, and then when you get the catalog, call me so that we can go back and forth in the pages and reference different features that we're talking about when you start to place that order, so everybody's on the same playing field.
Okay. Well, I think that's about the end of my order, so I want to put down money on my rifle, and I can do it on this credit card.
Okay?
And I think that's about it, guys. That's about how you buy a rifle.
Without putting 4 in your cart.
Yeah, we're only buying one. I'll get killed for sure.
And remember, you can make changes, so you're not locked into what you have here. You can change the wood, you can change the barrel length, you can change the caliber. So you have up until we're ready to start production.
By me paying for the rifle, or if I was paying a deposit or whatever, I'm buying a place in line.
Yes.
That's how this works?
You cannot lock in on the prices. So people know that. You can make payments if you wish. It doesn't matter to us. You can make them every month, every other. It just doesn't matter. We just require $250. And then about 21 months, when you're ready to hit the production floor, we will send you a letter and we will ask you for that remaining balance. And then you can make any changes, alter, because it's getting ready to get started.
But once they get the letter and they make changes at that point, they're locked in, and
then they're going to be locked in and run your card, because once you get to the floor, once I start production, you cannot make changes.
Okay. Well, guys, that is how you order a Shiloh, and it's not scary at all, believe me. We're happy to show it to you, though, because I know that there's a lot of people out there that don't know how to buy a custom rifle, and so walking through it like this, I think, is going to be a big help for a lot of people.
And don't hesitate to call. We're here to help.
They're here on the phone every day. So, or I know you're here 4 days a week.
5 days a week.
5 days a week on the phones. Okay, perfect. Well, thanks, Lucinda, and let's get my spot going.
All right, let's do it.
Thank you. All right, so we ordered this 4-in ebony tip with the schnabel on it, and we also ordered the schnabeled pistol grip. We're getting the pack hardened finish, which is this, with the polished black screws, and we're also going to have extra fancy wood. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned how to order your own rifle, and we will see you next time on Recoil Therapy. Let's give her a try. Wow!